struggled to pull my Louis Vuitton suitcase onto the bus that would take me to Almirante, a town of Panama where the most I could look forward to was a decent sunrise over the beach. I wasn't too thrilled that my grandparents decided to drag me along on this trip, and I wasn't thrilled that the bus was jam-packed with everyone in their machetes. So much for national security. About 45 minutes later, the bus came to a stop, a slam on the brakes stop, I might add, and everyone rushed off. Pushing each other out of their ways, I waited until everyone cleared out so I could avoid decapitation.
As I stepped off the bus, my Nikes made themselves comfortable in the deep mud of the street. Great. I continued trudging down the road along with my suitcase as we finally reached our hotel. Of course, it wasn't a Hilton, but I was relieved to have made it. We got settled and decided to find a place to eat. The locals stared and smiled as we made our way through the town in search of some decent food. We ended up at a small restaurant called Buenos that served beans, rice, and patacones. To my surprise, the food was amazing, and the old man who owned the little place was very welcoming and told us the best places to check out while we were in town. As we made our way back to our hotel, I started to get a glimpse of how people in this town live, how they have so little but don't mind it. It made me start to think, maybe there was more to life than cute quarterbacks and sexy stilettos. Maybe there was more to life than I've ever realized, and Almirante was where I would find it.
My trip to Almirante was winding down, and I was sad to leave. For the final week of my trip, the local church planned a youth retreat where we would camp out and get to know each other better. I felt prepared in a sense, because I had already made such a drastic transition into my life in this town, that camping out for a few days in the jungle wouldn't be a struggle. It ended up being one of the most amazing weekends of my life. Everyone slept in hammocks and we stayed up all night talking. Though my Spanish isn't the best, I connected well with everyone. It was such a cool experience. I took a lot from not only that weekend but the entire trip. The priorities I had already established in my life have been diminished and I've made new ones. Ones that weren't skin deep, but priorities that would help me grow and become a better person. By the last night of my trip, I was almost in tears, knowing that there was a high chance I'd never see these people again. Some were disease-stricken, and then there was the fact that planning a trip to Central America doesn't happen that often. I knew that I had to make the last night count. I gathered all of my friends from the church, and we met up on the beach. The sun had set by the time we all got there, and I knew that time was flying by. I thanked everyone for changing my life and told them how I had started out in a dazed phase, where the only things that mattered were material items and my social life. Now I had realized that the friends I had made here had become my family, and a community was most important. I can't imagine life without the people closest to me. No cell phone or gadget can compare to the happiness they bring me.